just came on.
Well, in earlier forms of Buddhism, the concept of life after death is also a dominant aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
The I would say probably my faith in the Buddhism, Nichiren Buddhism, is its explanation of uh, the basic concept of a lot of religions is the concept of heaven and hell. In Buddhism, heaven and hell are two worlds out of 10. But that particular world is a state of life as opposed to a place, you see.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Close observation of the world, kind of bears out the reality of that fact for me. So I'd say that my faith, as far as secular Buddhism I practice, bears truth in what I can observe with my mind, you see. And Buddhism, as a person expires, they return to the phenomenon of the universe, and then based upon their causes as they existed as a human being or a sentient being, that determines how long and what they are when they return to the actual state of existing. In cognizance, in other words,
Right,
touch,
right.
feel, sight,
Right,
etc.
right,
etc.
right.
The Buddhist aspect of life is, regardless of what a person experiences in their life, because they're going to experience some positive things that they can interpret as being positive, and some things that they can interpret as being negative.
Sure.
The practice of Nichiren Buddhism is to be able to create value regardless of what you experience. In other words, if I experience something negative, to be able to develop the kind of life that can use that experience to create value. If it is no more, and maybe specifically, to be able to develop a life condition that is not disturbed by external phenomena or internal phenomena. Give me a second, somebody's knocking on my back door. Life experiences. In other words, say you are a person who may not necessarily be tolerant of others. You develop through your experience, because if you're a person who was intolerant, it would be reflected in the environment. And in some instance, the environment will let you know that it does not appreciate your intolerance. So through your experiences, through your life experiences with that, you constantly use that experience with your Buddhist practice, to come to realize that aspect of your life that may not necessarily be value creating. And because you realize it, also you get the determination and tenacity to change that aspect of your life.
Okay. So you're basically in improvement, self-improvement.
I mean, not just improvement
is-
for the self. One of the basic foundations of Buddhist practice is practice for yourself, which is self-improvement, and practice for others,
Right.
where
Right.
you
It's
reach out.
reflective.
There you go.
It's reflective.
But reflected is more than just, well, also to encompass the word action within the reflection.
Sure.
In other words,
Sure.
when I went to your website, I saw some things where you guys were actually generating causes to make life better for people globally through action. Right.
Okay. Okay. Are there any key principles or laws that you try to hold to within your Buddhist faith? It, like for us, as Christians, it's important for us to love. It's essential. It's essential. Is there the same importance given to one particular aspect or element of it? Like when we talk about the truth later, how important the truth is for you to hold on to it. You see, so is there any one particular law or practice?
The practice of Buddhism is based upon what is called the law of the universe. In each global society, what is value creating is based upon that society and based upon that individual. In other words, the perspective of love or truth is a fluctuating phenomenon based upon the environment in which you live. So to say that if we were to draw an analogy between, say, the Ten Commandments, then of course in Buddhism there is no such tenets. But in Buddhism, the highest value is attributed to humanism. In other words, to the value of life, period. Now, it's not to say that we practice in a form of Hinduism where, you know, people feel that it is a negative aspect to kill cattle or anything of that nature, or swat flies, or maybe what some other philosophies may attribute to be a no-no. But it is based upon the credence of giving ultimate value to life. In other words, more specifically to human beings.
Now, is that the law of the universe that you're talking about?
No, the law of the universe has a name. That name being Nam Myoho Renge Kyo.
Okay.
To break that down, Myoho Renge Kyo is the Sanskrit translation of that law, and basically what it means is the law, the undescribable, the phenomenal law that operates through the law of cause and effect, that is explained through the sutra or teachings. Nam is the devotion aspect of that. So it's basically a person devotes themselves to the phenomenon of the universe that works through cause and effect. And he becomes to realize this law through the teachings of the sutra. So the law itself, we could probably say, is Myoho Renge Kyo. The devotion aspect is Nam. Now, the Nam aspect is not in the usual context of a person devoting themselves to their family or friends or such. You might want to give me a moment because that person's knocking on the door again. Pick up where we left off. So, the explanation of the title of that law. So, when a person chants Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, what happens is the same kind of concept that you would see if you were to watch a comedy or go to a concert. In other words, you may just be in a, a casual state of life. You sit down in front of your television, you're watching maybe a Richard Pryor comedy show, whatever have you, and he says something that makes you laugh. The influence of Richard Pryor is not considered to be a god, but what he has done as an external stimulus, he has stimulated your ability to laugh, you see. Fundamentally speaking, when a person chants, what they do is they are stimulating this law of the universe within themselves. It's kind of like if a person, analogy would be talking about, say, the concept behind, and this is roughly speaking, I'm not saying that this is it, right. When somebody says, may the force be with you, you see. In other words, that ultimate law of the universe, what a person does when they chant, what they do is they stimulate that law within themselves. And as that law begins to get stronger and stronger within their life, then they can draw upon all of the natural humanistic aspects of human beings and create value with that energy, and also create value in their environment.
So these are aspects these are aspects within ourselves that your faith allows you to look for.